listening to In Between the Lines podcast with Shamar and Jay. Nothing is out of bounds.
Yo, it's the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Shamar. That's Jay. You are the Pod Squad. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Jay.
Yo, bro.
What's going on?
It's a question, man. I was reading something. I thought it was an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the black athlete. When they become successful, popular, household name, do you start to think when they get up there, from a status standpoint, they start to look to wed Caucasian women? It's a question.
I don't think in today's time they do.
Intentionally.
No, I mean like happening now. I think back in the 90s, it was more prevalent with athletes marrying more white. I think it's slowed down a lot, but I don't think they're looking away from black. I think they're just it's around them more. It's their culture type thing.
What you mean?
The culture that they're in. Like, you might be hip hop culture, but you live somewhere else or you grow up somehow else. You know what I mean? Like going to college, you have more access to white women.
Okay.
So you experience in the hood, you haven't experienced them.
Right.
So when you go to college, now you're in a different atmosphere. You're in a different culture. So now you get to experience that. So then you start to compare.
I hate to say it, you about to say something crazy.
No, you start to compare. You start to compare black woman, which she hasn't done, because you know everything they do and don't do.
Go ahead and say it.
And then you compare it to a white woman and you know what they do and they don't. So that's why I think, and when you're in college, I think, like I said, you just gravitate, and it's more than most, like, especially if you're good, because you're going to Oklahoma, you're not going to a HBCU, you're going to a Alabama and everything. You just get to experience that, and then you develop a preference because you've been treated differently by both cultures. And more than likely, the Caucasian culture is a little less aggressive. And you like that, and you might be able to get away with a little more with the Caucasian.
Well, it sounds like you just said they're better. That's what it sounds like. That's why I said, whoa, be careful.
They might be better.
Tread lightly.
I don't really care.
But you got to go home tonight. You better.
But I don't really care about what people think about what I'm about to say. But if somebody treats you better, so just somebody treats you better. It's just plain and simple. Like, now, do Dr. Umar think you have a due diligence to stay inside your culture? Yes. What I would agree. I agree with most of what Dr. Umar says. I do agree that black culture needs to stick together a little more and everything, but we both got to work on things.
But when it comes to wedlock, you feel like we should want to
you should want to
stick to our culture.
Should,
or like what we like.
You don't have to. You should,
but
you don't have to. You don't have to. And I think it's because familiarity and everything. So if you find maybe a white girl a Caucasian girl who maybe grew up around more black people, she might treat you different than a Caucasian that grew up in a ritzy neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing.
Is that because they're less aggressive, like you just pointed out?
It could be, which is more than likely they didn't grow up seeing a wife or a mom. You know what I mean? That's how to treat your husband, how a husband's supposed to be treated. So
whoa, what? Say that again? Because
normally, especially in today's times, black women don't grow up in a household
that's married, and
we're the least married now.
Bro,
our culture is the least married. We went from being the most married.
But we know what it looked like, Mar.
No, you don't. If you don't grow up
from TV to movies to other family members, we know what it looked like.
What TV show? They don't play the Cosby Show no more. What TV show in the past 20 years shows black love? Name me 5.
Bro, that's a hard. I would have to think about it. I just think that statement. I can
name you one. Blackish.
Listen. I don't know if you really want to tread on that right there.
That's the truth, though.
Bottom line is we know what it looks like. I don't think you.
No, you don't know what it looks like.
Basic is what you basically saying is black women are just single mothers. They don't know.
They are the most single mothers.
We ain't saying the most. We just saying what it looks like.
By popular, you know what I mean? Not by the numbers, because I'm pretty sure it's more white. I'm just saying by the ratio of how many single black women.
That's fair, but I don't. That's a fair statement, but I don't think you can disregard that we don't know what it looks like. That's a reach, my guy.
No,
that's a reach.
That's not a reach. That's a proven fact.
You just
what did your child grow up? He grows up looking at parents. Your child learns everything from you, from your manners to your lingo to everything.
I get all that, but your kid is still going to be exposed to a married couple or a relationship. Yeah, he is. And come on, you got family members. Like, come on.
No, just like I
don't agree with that.
Yeah,
bro.
just like if you grew up in an abusive household, you're more likely to be an abuser.
Okay, that's not gonna make you that though, because that may be one.
It's not gonna make you, but you're more likely. These are facts.
Okay, I mean, and if you want to run one, but that may be on the flip side of that, the number one reason why you would be against abuse, because you've seen it and lived it. For example, me, I watched my granddad get busy with the booze. Guess what? I only drink beer. I don't mess with the booze, bro. I see what it does.
Yeah, but you're talking like I'm talking in absolutes. Like there's always going to be different ratios.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But for the most part, that's how it is.
I can't agree with that, man.
Yes, you look at every abuser, they most likely came from an abused household. They most likely.
You have instances, but I'm not going to put that on.
So if you don't grow up inside of if you don't know how to grow up to be a wife, and see what a wife does, how can you be a wife? If you don't grow up seeing how a husband treats his wife, how can you be a good husband? You know what I mean? It ain't saying that you can't.
They can be treating each other fucked up.
It ain't saying that you can't, but it's saying that more than likely when you're brought up like that, you gravitate to that. Women are gravitated because when the black household is telling women to be independent, go get your job, go. That was always the thing in the past decade or so. Oh, well, past 25, 30 years.
I just think that's the current times. That's the conversation we had before. You adjust to the current times. And honestly, if it comes down to individual too, like you said, they could have grew up with mom and dad being married. End of the day, they both could have still been abusive towards each other, and you grew up in that. That doesn't mean you're going to carry that over into your relationship, or that's going to discourage you from even having a relationship. The reality is this: for that individual, you're going to know what you want. It's just a matter. Even if a woman never been a wife or a man never been a husband, you just got to grow into the job.
You definitely got to grow into the job. You got to have a base. You got to have a base to understand things. You got to have a base.
Mark, I can't.
Just because I'm tall don't mean I can play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that nature.
But when you talk about a base, your base is going to be what you observe, right?
What you observe, yes.
Hold on. That may not be in the household. It could be your next door neighbors.
You're not in a household with them, bro.
But the reality is that you see what it looks like. You hear the conversation. It can be family members. It can be.
You don't grow up with them, boy, my man. You don't grow with them. You don't grow up with them.
Well, let's be honest. In a black family, if you ain't grow up in a married environment, I picture you like this, and your cousins is married, this, that, or third, you're going to know what's going on in the house. They going to share. They on that phone, chopping it up.
Nah.
Yeah, that's how I go in a black family, at least in our culture. But no, I just think, again, still, I don't think just because you didn't grow up within that kind of situation where you can observe and live it every day, because again, that situation could have been an abusive one. We don't know, but the reality is this: as time go on and you looking at that or you're not looking at that, at some point, as you grow into adulthood, you're going to know what you want. Even if you want to be married or not be married, you're going to know what you want.
Yeah, but that's not realistic. Huh? We all want to be rich. You all have to. No, because I'm
two different parallels.
I'm not taking two different parallels. I'm going off the premise you just said. We all dream to be rich and everything, and we all can do it. But some people just don't have the work effort, or somebody didn't see how it was done to be work, and they become lazy and everything. Like a lot of stuff that you are growing up with, from either schooling to attitude to everything, grows up is in your household. That's why it is parallel. That's why kids do better in married households.
I think that's the stability reason.
It's the same thing. You're growing up because it's in your household. Somebody's there. It's the stability. It's what you see. It's attention.
There's more accountability too.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. Those same reason that a married household child does better is the same reason that a child can grow up and see a good marriage, and then when they can see bad marriage, and then they can have bad marriages. But I'm saying good marriage comes from seeing what's that, and then you get some people who be like I said, the way the world is now is to teach you not to get married, is to teach you to go to school first and get your independence, and a lot of women be like, I'm not going to succumb to my husband. I'm going to go get my own and be independent. It's independent thinking now. So because that's what they're teaching.
I don't know if they're teaching that. I think, again, stuff like that, man, it's the individuals, what they want, man. So teaching, like who's teaching this? It ain't in schools.
The teaching is.
It ain't in the colleges.
No, the teaching is with
life experiences.
No, not life experiences. What society is projecting onto people now. They're rejecting all of that. They're taking away that. Now, with the economy and how everything is going and inflation, now these same people is like, damn, we got to shack up. You can't make it on your own in this society. A lot of people.
All depends how you want to live. I agree with that, but it definitely depends on how you want to live. But I will say again, in anything, especially when it comes to relationships, you just grow into it, man. We all want to be in something solid, but that doesn't. How we grew up, I don't think it's going to have that much of an outcome on how we go to live moving forward within relationships. That impact not only could be good or bad, but at the end of the day too, you're a different individual than mom and dad and what they were within their relationship.
So when we first started this, you said children search out male figures in the hood and try to inspire them to be them.
Who said that?
That was like one of our first things. He was like, "Oh, growing up in the hood, I might use my big homie as a who looked out for me and be my manly figure in my life." You said stuff like that.
So let me be clear. This is so if you want to attempt to go back to that, I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that because I grew up like that. Right. This is what I mean specifically. Everybody got different traits, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to me and not having a certain skill, I may take something from you. You know what I'm saying? Then the next person, I may take something from them. I'm trying to make that into myself. All them great traits that I see in individuals, those are things I'm trying to gravitate to, that I'm trying to, put myself in those positions. But you can't, I don't think me saying, okay, this brother right here, how he move, that's where I want to move specifically, because ain't none of us perfect.
What you just said is basically what I'm saying in the household. You're trying to take traits from people outside the household, but if you have those traits from your parents inside the household, as far as a wedding, and a marriage, you'll take those traits from them. The same way you just said you'll take traits from different people, you would take traits from the same people living in your household more because you're there more. So it's the same thing. It's just the people in it. That's why I said if you grew up in a marriage, you're more than likely to know how a good marriage or a bad marriage. You're more than likely to be that in your marriage. So if you grew up in a bad marriage, an abusive marriage, and an alcoholic marriage, you might take that on as an adult. If you grew up in a great marriage, you might take that on as an adult. You're taking in what you're seeing.
Some of it, yeah. Again, that goes.
It's all of it, bro. You're taking in all of it. You're either taking in all of it to either become that or not become that. You're taking it in. You're either taking it all in because you're there probably 10 to 12 hours of your life, and you sleep in the other rest, and you're going to school growing up. You're either taking it in to become that or taking it in not to become that. Either way, you're taking it in.
I just think you take what you need that can benefit you. Because again, I'm growing up with my grandparents, bro. I seen 40, 50 years to me of something solid, but I seen them rough patches. Now I take everything that was good within that from what I saw, but them rough patches that I saw, I don't want no part of that.
You're taking that in not to be that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not taking it in. I'm not. Listen, what I'm saying. And then with me being married, I'm not taking all of that. I'm taking what it's supposed to look like within those great moments. I'm also witnessing too what it look like within those bad moments. You want to have that balance,
right?
So in saying that, picture like this: how my granddad would wine and dine my grandma, and different occasions, just that and third. Yeah, I'll take some of that, but at the same time too, I watched my granddad not come home for a couple of days because he went hard on the bottle and on some other shit. I'm not taking that. So going forward, for me, growing up, wasn't fucking with the liquor because I seen that impact. Did I want to be married? I can't remember being young saying, yo, I do want to be married one day. I want this, I want that. I just think when I found the right person, those conversations came.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it evolved into that. And then the things that I wanted while I'm married and because I'm married, okay, the single home with the white picket fence, the 2-car garage, those things. Again, just growing into it, but taking the whole 100% of grandmom and granddad marriage.
But you literally just took in 100% of your grandma and granddad.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you're either in there to take it in not to do, the booze, or you're taking it in what to do, the whining and dining. Mm-hmm. You just pick and choose how to live it. And you live in 100% of it. That's what I'm saying. So you took in 100% of that. You might not have did, but you took it in either to project it or reject it.
Yeah, to go with the bad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They are influential on everything they did was influential on you. Mm-hmm. That's why I said so. Growing up in a good marriage is very influential on a child.
Healthy, I know that. I'll say again, just being young, that wasn't on the bucket list.
Like, I didn't say you want to be married. I'm saying when it happens, you know what to do.
But was that on your bucket list growing up? And you want to be married, this, and a third?
I didn't never said I wanted to be married, but because I grew up with my parents, I think I knew how to navigate marriage better than not. Now, even though I still end up in a divorce, I don't think it was what I did. What my ex-wife claimed I did in divorce. I don't think my parents did. I think that's something I did on my own. You know what I mean? But everything I took in as far as treating my lady right, I never seen my dad treat my mom wrong. So that's a hard thing for me to even fathom. But everything I seen my dad do for my mom, I took that in. And I think I applied it well into my marriage. Like I said, my wife said what I did.
She was sitting here, it'd be a different conversation.
It would be a different conversation.
There you go.
I don't know, but for everything I did, I think I did well. Like I said, that's definitely a good conversation we could have one week. Looking back on marriages and everything. So I think next week we could have a segment about that. Looking back on marriage and realizing the things that you could have done differently outside of it. Because I did.
That's an honest conversation.